Yo, I'm here with the Century legend. He says he has some questions for me. He want to grill me before the election, so I'm here, man.
Yes, as y'all know, it's me, Peter Chapman. I'm here with Mr. Jhamar Youngblood. Our potential
Yes, sir.
Central World Council.
Speaking into existence, Pete.
I'm gonna just get right into it. Newark native. Why Central World Council?
I'm from the Central Ward. I grew up right down the street. So growing up, I grew up like less than 3 minutes away from City Hall. My grandmother used to work for the Sharp James campaign. One of my childhood friends was the grandson of Donald Payne Sr. So I always was around politics or politicians in some way. Like I always thought about using my experience or wisdom to come back and try to help our people.
Now, from the tech side, engineer side, what makes you want to run into the lane of a public servant?
My specific expertise in tech is user experience and user design. And the core principles of that is understanding the problem, working with the people to come up with a solution, and constantly test that solution and tweak it until it's not perfect, but it benefits as many users as possible.
Okay.
I feel like if we take that same approach for city planning and developing a user experience that's good for the residents, or like a resident experience that's good for everybody, I just think that type of thinking is what we need today more than ever.
Let's go into a funny word that's been thrown around at you. The word is a four-letter word. Data.
Data.
What is your definition of data?
It's just information needed for you to make the most coherent and best and effective decision for you and your people or your community, whoever.
And you talk about the city engagement itself and preserving the culture. How big is that for you?
We all know the cultures that are in our city, but right now we're just divided with so many different groups wanting to take ownership of a city that I think is collectively ours. I think it's important that we preserve specifically the black and brown history and the black and brown culture that was here in Newark, because a lot of people don't know black and brown people are some of the earliest builders in our city. And if we have future Newarkers who don't know that, I feel like that's a missed opportunity to preserve that culture that I'm talking about. So I think we're a really diverse city. We have so many cultures, and I think all of those cultures need to be represented well, but also like preserved, because we also have newcomers and people who want to be in our city or be a part of our city as well, but they should know that there was a foundation here before y'all ever thought about coming here.
Does that truly matter? With just how places grow and cities grow, yes, there's going to be newcomers, but why the honing point of like making sure they know that it was people here before them?
Just so we won't end up like a Brooklyn or a Harlem or all of these other cities who have so much black and brown history, but when you go there now, you can't really see it because it looks like a new place. So I think for me that's important because I'm in love with that history. I love that history. So, and another thing is that Newark is amongst the 1% of cities and towns in America who still have a black majority in this whole country. So that's important.
Yeah.
If we're part of that 1%, I think when you think of black history in America, Newark should be like a staple of that, because we still, like, basically black people are still here. Like, despite everything that we went through and all the gentrification or all the displacement and all of the mismanagement and failed leadership, we're still here in the city that we love.
Okay, we're going to pivot a little bit. We're going to pivot to housing and economic equality.
We need to lobby, or we need to talk to our legislators in Trenton and talk to our Congress people and figure out how we can get more public housing built in our city. We do not have enough public housing. We are relying on these developers to come in here and build housing for poor people. I just don't think that has worked. We have tried it decade after decade. That has not worked. Like, before Ronald Reagan got into office, America, or our government, was some of the biggest real estate developers in our country. I just think if we want to provide adequate housing for our homeless or people who don't have homes, I personally think we need to get into the business of real estate again and build some of these projects.
Another word that you use that I like, transparency.
Yep.
Your idea, correct me if I'm butchering it, open platform where we can see every dollar being spent, seeing how taxes are being used, essentially, or how any system is flowing in our city.
Yep.
Why so open of transparency?
Because I truly believe that we can't rely on people in City Hall solely to get things done. Some of that transition of power has to go to the residents. So this is the bet that I'm making, is that if we give access to this data to the residents, they will help us figure out what's working, what's not working, offer some solutions. So essentially, I'm trying to give power back to the residents by giving them access to the data that's essentially a power in City Hall.
Yeah. So now this is where I believe that we should have open access to every penny being spent. But in open transparency, some other areas, even with the budget being open, do you see any backlash, or like sometimes you don't want to see all the skeletons? How do you kind of expect to deal with backlash or any fallout from that?
If you don't want things to be transparent, you must be hiding something. That's my
Okay.
thought. So if anybody don't want things to be transparent, it feels like to me that they're hiding something. And I don't think that we deserve that as residents right now. I think after all we've been through since the 70s, specifically black and brown residents, after all we've been through, I think we deserve at minimum transparency.
I would say, unbiasedly, certain tax abatements are beneficial to the city.
Yes and no. I feel like 20 years ago when we were still developing, I feel like yes. I feel like right now when people know that Newark is like on the come up,
Yeah.
I feel like no, it's like they don't get them in Short Hills, they don't get them in them other rich places.
We're not developing the same. We're developing right now at a rate of bringing in nearly 2,000, 3,000 people a year, new people, just downtown alone. And now it's spreading to Weekway, it's spreading to upper near East Orange, it's happening in East Orange. We're bringing in a new 2,000, 3,000 people a year.
Listen,
And what does that look like for small businesses? What if they put up 5 new buildings right here?
listen,
What does that look like for Halsey Street? What does that look like for Broad Street? What does it look for all these small commerce?
Listen, we can have a deeper conversation about tax abatements, but I am in agreement with tax abatements, but with the right developers
Okay.
who understand our vision and what we're trying to do here in Newark. So tax abatements are good, but for the right developers. We should be treating those tax abatements like prized possessions.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. And residents maybe should have some decision making in who gets tax
Who gets it?
abatements.
Okay. You're independent. I have no political ties either. I tell you this probably regularly lately. You go into the council meetings and you kind of yell at people you want to be your coworkers. Do you
Well,
agree with that statement first?
Number one, we need to move away from this idea of when someone's speaking the truth that people are accusing them of yelling. I haven't yelled. I'm one of
You're right.
you.
You haven't
I'm one
yelled.
of them.
I'm gonna take my
Like
words
you,
back.
like
You have not yelled.
like I'm kind as hell. Like
Yeah.
I'm not out here wilding.
He has not yelled. I take that back. I
Yeah,
recant
thank
that
you.
statement. He
Thank
has
you.
not
I have
yelled.
not yelled.
But you talk loudly in words towards your potential coworkers.
Listen, bro, I'm just doing what Malcolm X inspired me to do, which is speak truth to power. And I don't think we're going to progress if people are afraid to tell the truth. So I think that is sort of the biggest thing I'm trying to bring to Newark is this idea of be fearless about sharing your truth. Like, just because they're not going to invite you to a party or give you access to some exclusive group, who cares? When you speak the truth, you are helping so many people in our city improve their quality of life by bringing awareness to whatever the issue is. Things can't get fixed if we don't know what the issues are. So the fact that you are bringing up the issues to the city council members, to your district leaders, to whoever, that is a great start to how we change things.
Ideally, first 190 days. Which priority number one?
Priority number one in the first 100 days is creating some type of dashboard, some version of this bigger dashboard that I think we can create.
Okay.
Maybe this may be me and my staff just gathering data every week and uploading it every Friday. And we're saying every Friday the data set has been updated, but some first version of a dashboard that residents can see how decisions are being made and how we are spending some of our money in City Hall.
Okay. Big point. Newark 30.
Newark 30.
Let's get into it. Go
Yeah,
ahead. What
let's
is Newark
chat.
30?
So Newark 30 is just a plan to make us self-sufficient and fully transparent by the year of 2030. And by self-sufficient, I simply mean we should not be scramming and desperate every 4 years looking for funding from the state level or the federal level because there's a new person in office. Every 4 years, it feels like we have to adjust our strategy because there's a new person in office. I believe we should have some type of self-sufficiency plan that would allow us to withstand those adjustments at the state level or at the federal level.
Okay. You speak of effective leadership. What is your idea of said effective leadership under Newark 30?
I'm so amazed at the intellect level of so many of our residents here in Newark. So I think the first thing we have to do to have some type of effective leadership is to start being honest with these intelligent people. Because when you are not honest with intelligent people, they are going to revolt because you're gaslighting them. So I think that's the first thing we should do. We have to develop a culture of honesty, a culture of accountability, a culture of people not being afraid to speak up when they see something wrong.
So, what do you want to be remembered for at the end of your term?
At the end of my term, I
Or
want to...
terms with an S.
Yeah, good job, good catch. At the end of my terms, I just want to be known for someone who was invested in making Newark one of the most famous cities in our world. Because I believe it's possible between the people, between the infrastructure, between the resources we get. There's no reason why we should not be world leaders in multiple industries.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, just to make Newark one of the innovation capitals of the world again like it once was.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we got the airport,
Yep,
we got the docks,
yep,
we got international headquarters,
yep.
we got the sports team,
We got everything
got
we
the
need.
people, we got a mass transit system, proximity.
There's everything, bro. We got the culture, we got the people.
Yeah, the word people. I was gonna
Yeah.
get into people. We could bounce around, but we was talking about real estate earlier, and I've been paying attention to like the central world's real estate to be exact. Where are the people? We have all these buildings, but where are the people?
The people are not coming as fast as the developers or even maybe our council members thought they would come. And I think that's because, number one, things are not as attractive as they could be.
100%.
Newark is not an attractive place, and I think it starts in City Hall. Like when you look at our council members, with all due respect, they're not that inspiring. Like with all due respect, there's not a lot of energy where people are like, I have to come move to Newark. That energy isn't here.
You don't move to a city based on how they're governed.
A lot of people do though. A lot of people,
For real?
I'm telling you, yeah, especially millennial and Gen Z kids,
Okay.
they move to cities that they know that the government is on the progressive side of things and
Okay.
their government are doing
think
new
we are?
things.
I think we're on the progressive side. Are we doing anything new?
Bro.
No, but we're on the progressive side.
No, bro, because listen, all right, now this is when things get weird. Everything that people say Trump is doing to Americans,
Yeah.
residents are accusing our administration of doing it to them. So how progressive is that?
Of a place. Okay.
Right? Like it's more so like we acting like we progressive to the outside world, but the inside world, we just like what's going on in the White House now. And again, this is from residents. This is what the residents are saying on Facebook. This is what the residents are saying when they call me. I am speaking for the residents. Some of these are my ideas, but this right here
Word.
is from directly the residents.
Well,
You
I told
think
you.
because they put Black Lives Matter out there
No.
or they painted a
No.
rainbow street that we progressive?
No, those are Band-Aids.
Fair.
Those are symbolic band-aids,
Yep.
unfortunately. And it can mean a lot. I do
Oh
stand
yeah.
behind the meanings of
Me too.
what the meaning there, but they're band-aid, symbolic band-aids. They are to cover that boo-boo and rip it off whenever it needs to be ripped off because they can repave that street tomorrow. What is progressive is the new walks of life, but also the accessibility to those things. Speaking of the LGBT, the movement of the LGBT culture in Newark has always been there, but now it's getting to me more recognition on a bigger scale. The highlight of black businesses, black-owned entities, stores, they're getting a bigger push. More access is being given to black and brown and all these different people. That's where I see progression with certain access.
Yes, that's fair, but what about progression of poor people? Like
In what
people,
way? And say more. Yeah.
like, so the poorest members of our city are black single mothers.
Yeah.
And that's been like that for a while. So although you're saying that,
Where's the progression from
where's
that
the
life?
where's the progression from people living in poverty?
Well, that's why we have people like you.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Not saying that you have the answer to get us out of poverty unless you do. But what are the steps that we
I
could
think about
make?
it a lot.
What is it? Is it funding? Is it housing, more accessibility to things? What is a natural help, not a fix, a help?
I think we need to create a new economic system, and I feel like we could start it here in Newark, where we are swaying solely away from the USD. When you think about our culture and our ancestors, we use things like bartering. Like everything wasn't USD based, and I feel like we can do something similar here in Newark. One thing that NJIT and Rutgers Newark do is they have tech bucks and Raider bucks.
Yeah.
And this is like a digital currency that is given to their other students, and their students can go use that currency at stores. So my main idea is a public economy. I feel like if we have a public economy that rivals the private economy, I feel like we can keep costs low, we can probably provide more jobs, and we can create some type of culture in our city where you have people that are just like, I want to support the public economy. I don't want to go support these billionaires no more. I'm going to go support my local municipality through these local municipal enterprises.
So you can't escape the USD. But why are you saying we should escape it?
I'm not saying fully escape it. What I'm saying is that use USD differently to solve some of our problems. We know that people need food, people need clothing, people need medicine, people need housing, right? If we can use the USD to somehow go get those items, and then we create an additional system that's not attached to USD to have residents redeem the items. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right. We're gonna talk about money before we get out of here. He's a busy man. He's booked up crazy.
I wonder how this is gonna look in the dark.
Yeah, it just got dark. It just got dark. But budget. Do you know the current budget of Newark?
We broke 1 billion, I think, a couple of years ago during COVID, but it's usually like around 950. But it hasn't been. I think it's been over 1 billion once a couple of years ago.
Okay. How do you plan to spend $1 billion? That's my last
Well,
question.
a lot of that is spent already. Let's start there. The police are going to take 30%, damn near 30% of it. And then there's other things that the city has to pay. Salary. Let's not talk about the lawsuits. Let's not talk about the lawsuits.
The settlements?
Every week there's a new settlement, right? So it's like, and on our budget, there is an expense that says other expenses with no explanation of those expenses.
Also, you've given your transparency ordinance to council. Have you heard any response since then?
Not
I know
only
you mentioned it at the debate as well. I'm sorry
yeah,
to cut you off.
no, you're good. Our council president said at the debate that I didn't give it to him, and I'm like, bro, I know I gave it to you, and it's on camera.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what we're dealing with. He was like, no, you ain't reach out to me. You ain't give. I'm like, yo, it's on camera, bro. I gave it to you. Nobody responded, but I wasn't expecting to get any special treatment because residents say that they don't respond to them either.
Yeah.
So it's like, it
Thank you
is
for
what
your
it
time.
is.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Next
you for your time.
question.
I like it. I like it. Sometimes they do need to be like, thank you for your time, but sometimes I think some things are warrant an answer or at least a rebuttal. And if you don't have, not saying you need the answers right then and there, but like, let's really sit on this. Let's really actually come back and table this. But it'd be like, thank you for your question. Thank you for your time.
Bro, the culture is for our council members to call our community leaders or community activists that go up to City Hall and speak. They brush them off and say they're grandstanding, and they say that they're conspiracy theorists. That's the culture. And it's just like, oh, only a few of them are going to come in and complain. We can keep doing what we're doing. That's why it was important when I went up there,
Yeah.
because I was a different face. I wasn't yelling. I was just reading off my tablet. But I think that's more of what we need, more people to speak out.
Okay. So we're here, Peter Chapman, Mr. Jhamar Youngblood. Where's your poll number again?
1F. 1F. So it's the first one. When you go and you look at the ballot, I'm the first name. 1F, Jhamar Youngblood.
1F, and the F is for?
Freedom.
Ha! I like that. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yo, this is Central Ward legend right here.
I'm not.
Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know about Pete.
I'm just a regular guy.